We are driving to Oxford University to pick the most intelligent, the most prestigious blackberries you could find, and then, while car camping and doing some awesome photography, we're going to cook a blackberry crumble. I have no idea how this is going to go, but you may have noticed in the back of the car there is a bicycle. That bike is going to allow us to get into the centre of Oxford, because in Oxford you actually cannot drive into the centre. They've got a zero emission zone. This bike is going to allow us to get close to the university without having to walk a million miles. And we have made it to Oxford University Parks, and this is where we're going to be looking for our blackberries. We are currently at North Lodge, and we're going to make our way along the North Walk first. And I think I see my first bush of blackberries. Yep, there is a ton here. Wow, look at them. They're looking a little bit grey, and I can hear a lot of traffic noise, which is slightly putting me off. I'm going to keep walking and see if I find a better option. And when I do, I've got this Tupperware pot, which I'm aiming to fill, because I might as well. And I've found some more, but these ones are very red still. Actually, there's a couple of really nice ones which look juicy though. So we're going to start filling the pot. It's good, but it's nowhere near enough for a crumble. They're not blackberries, but down here there's a bunch of little red berries. Some more just here. I don't know if they're edible, but if you know what they are, pop it in the comments down below. And that should be enough for our crumble. So now we've got to go back to the car, collect the bits for cooking, find a spot to cook, and then start baking. And somehow we have managed to find ourselves a completely silent recreation ground. This is a field, and it's where we're going to be cooking this crumble. And the fact it's silent is very nice, because I've done cooking in public parks before, and let's just say it was a bit embarrassing. Back there you can see my car. I am literally the only one in the car park. So let's get set up. With me I have this very simple and basic camping stove. We should only need one stove, and in the bottom of my bag here I have my pots and pans. We're going to start off by just lightly boiling the fruit. So that for me includes blackberries, and then I also picked myself up an apple. Here I've got a pink lady apple, so that should taste nice. I'm going to have to cut this up before I do any of that. So in the top of my bag here I've also got with me a chopping board. The only thing I don't have is a cutting knife, but I do have this plastic knife, so we'll see how it goes. And with the apple and blackberries simmering in the pan with just a little bit of water, it's time to move on to the topping of the crumble. Now, a crumble topping is made of things like sugar, butter, and oats, and I was like, how can I get all of these in a camping situation? Now, I did actually nick this idea from someone else, and it is hobnobs. Hobnobs are essentially crumble topping. Each of them is just put into a little biscuit. So I think these have already been battered around in my bag, but we're gonna crush a few up and then we're gonna sprinkle them on top of the crumble. This is going to act as kind of like a crumble topping, and I'm going to put it on the crumble when it's hot, so hopefully that heat and steam will rise through and kind of soften the biscuit and make it as if it's a fresh crumble topping. And the fruit is simmering very nicely. I think I cut my apple pieces a bit big because they're going to take longer to cook than the blackberries. I kind of cut them up a little bit more, but I'd advise cutting up your apple to quite small pieces if you're putting them on at the same time. There we go. Now, while it's nice and hot, look at that, it's steaming. Let's put in our hobnobs. It's been a long time since I went on a zip wire, and if I'm honest, I don't trust that this one's not just going to break. What's funny is there's a ton of blackberries just here, but it's okay. Our intelligent Oxford University blackberries will be much better, I'm sure. Easy, easy. Well, that was good fun, getting a workout in. There's a trampoline in this park. Since when did they put trampolines in parks? And it is officially time to test our crumble. So it's now cooled down in the pot. I can touch it. It's been about an hour, I'd say. So I'm hoping that the crumble will have kind of gone together and crumbleized, and the berries in the bottom will be lovely. I'm going to bring the camera closer so you guys can see what this looks like. There we have it. Some crumble. No jokes, this is actually really nice. It tastes like crumble, and the fact that I know where everything came from, and that, oh my word, it's so good. The apple isn't too crunchy, but it's got its texture still. And the berries, they've soaked through, the flavour is everywhere. It's about 7:15, and I've actually just come out of Sainsbury's Cafe where I was doing some editing. It's now time to turn this smart car into the camper for the night, and I'm going to do that here in the supermarket car park, so when I arrive at the place I want to sleep, I can just pull up, put up the blinds, and they won't know I'm there. We can do it proper stealthy because I do use residential roads. I've scouted out a nice place, and so yeah, let's get this car converted and then we'll head over. The futon being upside down and the bike in the back of a smart car made that a little bit more difficult than it should have been. But as you can see, we now have a full-size bed in the back of this car. People often ask me, why do you use a smart car to go out and do adventures? And one, it's super easy to park and to maneuver through traffic, but two, it's what I have. And one of the biggest things that stopped me going on adventures like this was waiting to have something better, like a van or an SUV. And I was like, no, I can do it in what I've got. And the fact I'm doing this in a smart car proves that there is nothing that can stop you. Where there's a will, there's a way. Let's go find that place for the night. I'm having a quick walk through the neighbourhood that I've chosen, and I think it's very nice. There's lots of decent houses, there's not many cars. In fact, not a single car has passed me, so it should be nice and quiet. And I've got a nice spot between a wall and a fence. On these Oxford estates, there's lots of these kind of new build estates, and something I've noticed is there's hardly any walls or hedges. Everything is very open, making it hard to find a place to stay. So I'm pleased with our spot. I'm taking a quick walk and it's getting cold. I have a hoodie in the car, which I cannot wait to show you. It's a great hoodie and it's going to keep me warm overnight. It was dusk and we got some gorgeous photos of street lamps in the scenery here up in Oxford. And now we are back in the car, and you may have noticed this big hoodie says "Shutter Up" on it. It's a photography pun if you hadn't noticed, and this is actually one of my own designs which I'm selling on my Etsy shop. The link will be in the description. Today has been a crazy day. It's been busy, the weather's been intense, and I know that as soon as my head hits that pillow I'm gonna fall asleep. However, it's still quite early, so I brought along some entertainment for myself. This is a Nintendo DS Lite. Anyone of my generation will love these. These were legendary when we were kids, and you don't need Wi-Fi, they don't use much power, and you can play great games. Well, good morning folks. We survived the night, which was quite an achievement. It got pretty chilly, so I'm glad I had this jumper to keep me warm. Now, this morning, we're going to be making ourselves some porridge, where you simply add water to the sachets and it creates porridge. I've got my cooker here and I'm hungry. It's about 6:30 in the morning. It's nice and quiet. This is the time to come out and film. And one of the advantages of living on the road, you get to see the world at times when no one else does, because your circadian rhythm just completely changes. And here we have it, our very bland breakfast. I'm starting to wish I packed some honey with me, or if I kept some of those blackberries from last night. That would have been nice, but hey, we're gonna make do with what we've got. A little moth must have joined us in the night. And that brings us to the end of our Oxford Blackberry Crumble adventure. If you enjoyed, hit that like and subscribe, and put any questions you have in the comments down below. Go and look at the links if you're interested in any gear, or if you want to take a look at my own designs on my Etsy shop. I'll see you in the next one.